Easy vibe, girl, I dey see you. I know said you are the man, but I see one. Easy vibe, I'm in easy girl, I dey see you. Girl, I dey want you. Now only you if it's off and the road nobody but you. Every day I go there watch your beauty. Baby girl, you be my duty. Nobody fit tell me to leave my baby. Hold you tight if it on to baby. Me and you when you wake up, girl, you shining on me. Girl, look like gold all on me. Like the water you be pouring on me. Maybe that's why I know feel leave, yeah. I'm an easy vibe. Girl, I dey see you. Something will come steady my spirit. Tell me what you do. I'm in the easy vibe. Girl, I dey see you. Something will come steady my spirit. Tell me what you do. Make we go this slowly, like the ocean we move so slowly. Guess I'm heavy from my mind, I swear. Now you declare the air, oh yeah. Make we go this slowly, like the ocean we move so slowly. Guess I'm heavy from my mind, I swear. Now you declare the air, oh yeah. Baby girl, you know when the sun done they show send a star boy. Big quiz, big daddy enter the flow. We know they mind person. Mama, we just come here, mind our own. A bomo, but I'm a bomo low. I'm like 20 standard, yo. We know they mind person. We never keep person, no. Every day I go there watch your beauty, yo. Baby girl, you be my duty, yo. Nobody fit tell me to leave my baby, yo. Hold you tight if it turn to baby, yo. Me and you when you wake up, girl, you shining on me, yo. Girl, look like gold all on me, yo. Like the water you be pouring on me, yo.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday here going on. First of many live on YouTube. And I'm pretty excited because, I mean, it's been a while, right? It's been a while since I've actually came on here live with you guys on Tuesday. A lot of the time it's really more so just kind of just in the back end, trading on your own, whether you're watching like live sessions. But it is really exciting to actually be back here with you guys and really just trading live here. So, I mean, you guys pretty much kind of know the expectation. If you don't know, I'm more than welcome to remind you guys how we run things here within Powerhouse. First and foremost, that the biggest thing you want to be able to remember is that here our main focus is to, yes, look for opportunities and make this as good as possible, easy as possible, and as well flow. But at the same time, you got to remember that trading is designed for us to, take opportunities when the opportunities are there. So, I mean, we'll get right into it. But here on Forex Factory, let's see what we got going on here because I have not looked at anything. So I'm with you guys as well too. But I know for the bigger picture, right? I want to look at the bigger picture here. For Tuesday, we do have news when it comes down to our dollar news that's about to be it. As well at 9 a.m., we do have some more dollar news. JPYs, if you are a JPY trader, then you're gonna have some action going on later today as well for AUD, NZD, and Wednesday. I mean, we got some more dollar here going on with also the fall in with AUD news. And I mean, just to make sure, I feel like I don't have to tell you what Forex Factory is, but just to make sure if you are brand new to trading, just kind of keep in mind that we do use Forex Factory to really help us in a aspect where you could see or potentially where the attention is going to be at with the markets. Now, I do believe now, especially with these times, Forex Factory, it's still there, of course, but I feel like now with how social media is and how majority of the people are actually on the markets and really looking for their news, people typically use it on like we're talking about like X and Twitter, things like that, where now I mean, someone can tweet something and potentially can move somewhat the market depending on how it's looking like, and as well too with other things. But I mean, that's just kind of something that you can look at and back test and see like, damn, like, is this really true? Like, is it happening the way Neri's saying it is? But I mean, you could do the homework and see it for yourself. But here, let's go and actually go straight into it within the USD pairs. We're going to look at more so the correlation with CFDs on this one. So if you are futures, then you do have your futures charts right over here. So you could go look into the ticker itself if you are in a prop firm trader. I do have on my other screen that I have the other pairs. So we have the other tickers when it comes down to just the US 30. So just to kind of make it really easy on a few of you guys. But what we have going on now with US 30, I want to really first focus on what it looks like on a bigger aspect. And I mean, for quite some time, you guys can see with US 30, we have been having the market pretty much trade up very aggressively to the upside. And then not only that, we did have the market pretty much trade below here one last visit before the explosion to the upside. Just focusing right over here, guys, because the intention what I'm how I'm looking at the market with my lens is smart money concepts, right? SMC, simple way of mitigation. And if you are not familiar with that, then recommend you to really just first listen with the open ear and see why it is that we're looking for the market the way we do. Now, here, let's drop down on the 1 hour time frame, just because like we see that we are in a very big bullish uptrend, right? We are having the market pretty much move up very aggressively, uptrending to the upside. And there was slightly somewhat liquidity left behind that maybe one day we could get here, but we're talking at about a big drop. But at the as of right now, I mean the focus is, do we see any type of big shifts yet for US 30? Mm, not yet. It's not really telling us much. So, which is why I would potentially just consider to continue looking for buys more in these lower areas if we do come up here. But now with now US 30, we did have areas where we did have this nice sweep of liquidity before this institutional push to the downside. And then you have this reversal back to the upside, which is the imbalance. Price comes back one last time, trades into this area, and then explodes to the upside, slowly working its way in there. Now it's like US 30 is floating above into these areas where we do see the market just hanging up here, but nothing much going on a 30-minute time frame. I mean, we can drop down on a 15-minute time frame, right? And you can see that still US 30 chopping around this higher zone here, around this price area with the 51,000 before the market retraces one last time below here, slowly working its way. Nothing much that is very clear on the US 30 aspect. Continuing dropping to the 5 minute to see if maybe there's some type of opportunity for scalp. I mean, you can continuously see that the market is still giving us some type of overall very short action where yes, there was this nice sweep of liquidity here. And this is where we're going to go really in detail. Okay. You have the sweep. Okay. The institutional push to the upside. Keep in mind, we are on the 5 minute time frame. Okay. This makes a big difference right here. Okay. Because remember, on the bigger time frame, we said we're bullish, right? There's no signs yet, right, of a big shift to the downside for US 30. But on this 5 minute time frame, we do see that the market again gave us this institutional push. working its way down, very choppy. And I'm not saying that this is a setup. I will say that as of right now, we have step one, which is that sweep of liquidity. We have step two, where now with the markets, right, with these institutions that just came in, swept this market very aggressively to the upside, that cleared all of this money out here in this area. Step three would be a very aggressive institutional push, but this here wouldn't be my ideal type of setup because of how healthy price just came in, dropped, retrace, dropped. This is healthy price action here that we got going on. And it's a good thing for the market because we can see that the market did do what it had to do before it left. And at the same time, if you really wanted to make your eyes more easier, right over here on the chart for trading view, you can go to this line graph and you can kind of see here that this did roughly kind of mitigated just based off of just looking at the chart. Meaning that if you're reading it carefully, that sweep institutional dropped to the downside, but price did revisit back one last time again before this aggressive push, right? So really more so for like US 30. I mean, we're having areas that would have been way more better for playing aspect for selling because up here, I believe, okay, this is my context from what I've been able to collect with evidence, with back testing, live trading, things like that. I believe that if we do come back here again, I don't think we could potentially hold this. I actually think that we are just going to explode through it. So just kind of keep that in mind there. But now in this 5 minute time frame, you do have this smaller area that did play out, which if you were on the charts again, like before the 8 o'clock right now, central time, then you're probably able to capture some type of move like this. But in the meantime, I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of any of these moves here for US 30 wise, which is why this would have been more of a capture inside this area if you would have saw it, what, like maybe 2 hours ago. I mean, I wasn't at the charts 2 hours ago, but just kind of see that once it's there, it's there. It's like nothing really too much in our favor today for US 30. But let's take a look at NAS. Interesting. Anybody see that right there going on? You got US 30 that's working its way lower, but then you got NAS that is starting to work its way up higher. With that being said, this is where you want to start reading, okay? Read the market. Read what it's telling you, not what you think is there, and just use, right, a strategy where if you are like trading like support and resistance, trend lines, patterns, at the end of the day, those do work, but I want you to read what you see right now. Where is liquidity? Where is the market really wanting to hurt the most people? We have liquidity being built up as we speak up here. NAS is working its way up higher here in this area. I mean, let's drop down to the 15-minute time frame. You can also see that we did get this nice sweep, right? The institutional push to the downside, but it's very choppy on how it really came up here, which is why I'm saying that I'm not a fan with these choppy, aggressive movements, especially if we see the market, work its way up a lot more higher. But now when you zoom out, right? And you zoom out, then you start to potentially see, okay, it becomes more cleaner. Smaller time frames when you're stuck into this, it's not the best, right? I'm just not a fan of those until you zoom out. But even when you zoom in, you do have this market healthy price action, retracement, push to the upside, retracement, push to the upside. And so you continuously having that, and even with the market coming down one last time to revisit inside this trap candle here, there's a lot of ways on how you can actually enter mitigation. I mean, you have Fibonacci, you have all these other aspects, but I mean, just going based off of this, retrace, and now it's floating above. Could this come back one last time? It could, but I mean, we could come back here one last time into this area. I wouldn't call this out fully myself because I personally won't take if I'm not gonna if I'm not gonna take, I'm not gonna call it out. I have my screen on the left side, right, my right side right here with you guys. So if I say I'm not gonna take it, I'm not gonna take it, but this could potentially happen where you could have this one last revisit. Isn't an ideal setup. I would say not really in my eyes. I think there's way more better opportunities for us to get, especially if you continue going lower. The question is, do you have somewhat of a nice, right? A nice entry module. And when I look inside this institutional move that worked its way up higher, we do have areas where you do have that nice, interesting institutional, right? Imbalance, fair value gap. People call it different things, fair value gap and inefficiencies. You do have this movement here. Now, what I will say though is if it came down to re-entries, right? And if it came down to looking at a very small time frame, because on a bigger picture, going back to that 1 hour time frame, yes, we have that inefficiency here where we could get this to revisit one last time. But I think that we have more of a stretch if we come a little bit more lower down here. And yes, I am still looking for potentially these buys on NOS just because of just look at the market condition. Look at the como se dice the market structure, ¿verdad? Even based off market structure, I mean, we're talking about you have that nice change of character, price is maintaining, right? And so here, if it really came down to us looking for some type of opportunity, I mean, it would be pretty nice to see maybe, okay? You have this also small internal sweep. You have this institutional candle to the downside. You have the imbalance. This is something I would actually like to attempt myself here. This smaller internal area, right? Because you have the market that pushed very aggressively, trade inside this area, now pushed very up. Below here is a stop loss. Interesting. But as of right now, even if you wanted to go in a smaller time frame and have fun on a 15-second time frame, I mean, you're starting to see the market still push up higher in this areas. And you can even drop down even more, whether if you were trying to trade on a 5-second. I wouldn't really attempt this here at all myself, just because I don't like the fact that there's money being sat above this. But you can already see that inside this institutional candle to the upside and then the imbalance to the downside here, you have people who are attempting this sell area. But I find it to be very much of a trap because you have money above this area, and which is why you see all this market pretty much pushing up, right? So you just got to read what you see. Now, I will say though, and I have not been a fan of this just because I don't truly see why. But as you can see here, we do have this area that they call it shakeout. I am not a person that will take shakeouts because they just don't make sense to me on a aspect of a, I guess, just the format how I'm looking at the institutional move. But this is just something that you could look into if you wanted to continue scaling and at least continue like your knowledge behind certain things. Man, I mean, like we see that there's a slight rejection, but this is not something I would even get myself into just based off of that. But if it really did come down here, I really do like this buy opportunity. If it came down for the market to in this smaller time frame zone, and it's pretty. I mean, if we really want to just take a test trade here, you can really lower down your stop loss to a 17 pip stop loss. Still go for that 1 to 3 if you're trying to be very conservative, which as you can see, you're like, whoa, it's not much of a movement, but yeah, it's pretty much a good small tight stop loss. You do have as well too this whole area, or if you wanted to continuously hold it, but just kind of be conservative. I think it would be a nice 1 to 3 here that I would roughly take if it came down for the market to come back one last time again. But if you want to give room for your trade, I mean, even for futures, 50 pip stop loss isn't bad either. It's still a really good conservative type of stop loss. And then you can aim it for up here if we do have the market continuously having us to come up here. So TP1 on a, to make it make sense, if you're going to put your stop loss below here, TP1 for risk to reward wise, you have 1 to 3, which could be up here to clear out these equal highs that we have in this area. But if you're okay with the fact of taking a smaller stop loss, which is a good 17 pip stop loss, right? You can go for that 1 to 3 without having to go for aiming. So 1 to 3 would be a TP1. And then depending on how we work our way down here is the evidence that we would actually use for technical wise for exits. Maybe, I don't know, it stays up here for quite some time and now you have TP2. And then it maybe comes up here and then now you got TP3. You know, just things like that that you can kind of pay attention to. But let's see this real quick. I mean, it's holding. Look at that. But again, it's just not my cup of tea when it comes down to these small term shakeouts. I just don't. I mean, you can let me know in the chat if you know what a shakeout is, but it's just not my. It's just not. I just never understood it. I just never understood it. So don't come at me, please. XPX. Oh, the chat here. Sorry, guys. And I do apologize for not changing the name of the title. So I should have checked that on the Zoom call. I apologize. But we do have, let's see, good morning, Tuesday, Nary Berry, Reno, Nevada. And then we got question. Could you look at XPX? Who's this right here? Who's the, I'm gonna look at it right now, but who's that? I usually know people's usernames. Cool. Then we got the market for XPX. I mean, even on a 1 hour time frame, you know, what just based off of just market structure, I'm really liking this bigger bullish movement. As of right now, we could drop down to a 30-minute time frame. And I mean, if you read this, right, and it makes me speechless because I'm just like, you know, you really just have some choppy movements going on. It's not really the ideal type of market I like to trade in. I mean, even with that, you did have this nice sweep, this candle push up very aggressively, chopping, push up. But what I will say though is this. Let me see something. No, you have this very aggressive movement. Market pushes down as well here. Choppiness, right? It's very just like, yeah. I mean, for XPX, not really the. I knew it, Austin. I knew it. I was like, I've seen that. I've seen the wallpaper before. I mean, you have, yeah, you 5 second, like even on a 5 second, if you want to go on a 15-second time frame, yeah, it's just ugly work right there. I actually don't have anything on a scalping perspective. Really, just right now with XPX, you do just have the market pushing up very aggressively higher. US 30, this would have been the nice area for US 30, just, but I mean, I wasn't on the charts 2 hours ago. With that being said, now that I'm using this context, right? When you think about it, if US 30 is dropping, right? And we see this, where can US 30 be going? I mean, we can be filling up this whole gap here that we have here. That is a possibility. Nothing much for, again, nothing much for re-entry except for if the market maintains right on this 15-second time frame. Do you have this nice sweep institutional candle to the upside for a re-entry? Market pushes down, chopping its way up lower. This here, I would be okay with taking this re-entry for a sell. Yeah, I would be okay with taking this re-entry. 22 pip stop loss, 1 to 3. This here, like I'm not, I told you guys, like I'm not really a big fan of these shakeouts. They don't really make sense to me, excuse me. And then XPX. But if US 30 comes lower here, that would be good. I think we have a chance with this, with a 30-second time frame. Yeah, with this 30-second time frame trade selling opportunity is something that I would be looking into. Okay. 45 seconds, it looks makes sense as well too. This entire little sweep, internal sweep right here. 1 minute time frame. This entire sweep, institutional candle. And if you use your Fibonacci tool, right? Using your Fibonacci here, you do have the market actually giving you that sweet spot for that 886 and 786. As you can see, just based off of the rules, 786 is the ideal setup here, right? Oh, ideal entry module that we would take here. But it's outside the mitigations zone, which is why we wouldn't really take that. So entry number 2 confirmation would be the inefficiency. Where inside do we see a gap, right? We do see this dropping down to that 50-second time frame. You still see this gap between it. And as well too, 30-second time frame. This is still inefficiency. So that's going to be something that you can look at. Now I do have evidence with when it comes down to back testing that if I am going to be trading the 30-second time frame, I typically just go for that first overall area where it touches, which is why I would be okay with just taking the setup right at the mitigation box. But look at this too. It lands right at that trap candle too. I mean, it's not a bad play. Actually, it's hitting the targets for our overall setup. Because what will happen is, right? Look at this just playing out. It's making liquidity here. Yeah. Hit that's it, 786. But if this, now that I'm looking at this, I think this might actually not work out. Like, again, I didn't take this, I didn't call this out, but I don't think it's gonna work out. I think this is gonna continue pushing up higher for this to push up higher. And then when we get this higher, right, what is higher after this? It's, I mean, you have areas up here, but yeah, you have all that. But I think that this might actually just push up a little bit more higher for this to help us in this aspect for this idea for correlation purposes. Yeah. Kate sweeps it out, took out the money, but then does that hold, right? Does this hold? Interesting. Look how fast the market moves on a 10-second time frame. Nasty melt. How do we feel? Not, I don't really care much for that. I mean, it's like me saying, how do I feel with a certain setup that doesn't make sense to me and it plays out? It's like nice, but you know, where's US 30? US 30 still working its way in there. I mean, after this, if US 30 just continues dropping, I think that's pretty much it for me. I wouldn't really trade anything else after that. This is about a what? 30 pip. And I mean, it's as you guys can see here, this is really equivalent to those trades that are just shakeouts. And I mean, this is another context evidence. If anybody did take it, then I mean, you're winning right now, pretty huge. But I just didn't have a reason to get into it. We saw it right here over here at this point, but just not me. I just don't understand these. And I think that's okay because, and I want to say this out loud because I think if I would have got into this, I'm not saying it because it's winning or won because it would have been a nice 1 to 3. I think it's just like I would have been so nervous. I would have been like, "Oh my gosh, here we go again." What's the trains not to be scary, yeah. US 30, it is just whew. Oh, I believe right now. Yes, I just remembered. That's AUD. Yeah, we have news between right now, 8 to 9. Look at that. Wow. We missed it so fast. It is low key crazy right now. Okay. Pretty much a little action. Well, this would have worked out 1 to 3 if you would have got into it. Of course, we did see it, swept it. But now with US 30, right? We're seeing the market do this. It's pretty fast right now. So everybody pay very close attention because you don't want to make make a mistake or a decision that is too impulsive right now. Let's focus in. Currently, right now, US 30 did give us that aggressive drop, swept all of this here. Is now even market's not really showing, right? Now I'll take that back because we're seeing this print out pretty fast. And guys, right now we're in a 30-second time frame, so kind of keep that in mind. If you're wondering why the market's moving so fast, is because we have a setup that's 30 seconds, right? I want to see this at least start moving up a little bit more higher because if not, at this point, this is not going to be the ideal setup anymore for me just because of the fact of depending how we work our way in there could be a counter trend. This is really interesting. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna actually keep this here. I'm gonna download that because nice to see that it plays out, but then instant reversal and just sweeps you out. This would have been a nice little 1 to 3 for shakeout traders. I mean, more than 1 to 3. This would have been a nice 1 to 8. Call it a day. US 30 now is just, yeah. Yeah, interesting day. Interesting morning so far. It's like a round. And if you don't know what that means, that just means like shush. Yeah, so far it's like this is what we got. I'll keep this up here. I'm gonna put an alert just to make sure that if we do start passing this price action here, then we do have this alerted. As of right now, just we're seeing the market just work its way lower, maybe filling in this whole imbalance here. NAS, right? Interesting to see, but NAS is also just swept this out, right? Push. Now it's pushing a little more lower. It'd been pretty cool for our first session because I don't like to say I'm the best trader. I think I would say I'm a very committed trader when it comes down to really staying solid what I believe in. But what I will say though is this: be pretty fire if the shakeout belief. I mean, it worked because we went to 1 to 3 with the rules, but it just wasn't our. I didn't call it out because I don't take those. But let's see how this one plays out. US 30. It's a very, very aggressive melting day for these markets. You guys still here? Look at the chats real quick. Let me tell you something right now. Let me tell y'all something. I mean, it's happy Tuesday, right? I'm gonna make this low key lighter because I want to be able to see the area around it. We're aware that we're in the mitigation zone, but I really want to focus on this mitigation internal setup. Again, you could have a larger stop loss, right? US 30 is melting. Oops. All right, let me get my Cool. All right. Getting my stuff pretty much ready here. Now we do see that the market is, look at that. It just touched the mitigation zone. All right. Retracting off of it, but I believe that this could get obliterated just because there's stop losses below here. This is my belief right here. A stop loss. Because you do have this area that was once a setup, right? This institutional push to the downside was a potential setup. Price came back one last time, revisit, and now you're up a lot. So then now think about it. If you're up and you're in profit and you're holding for a long time, what do? You put your stop loss to break even. When you put your stop loss to break even, this becomes what? Liquidity. I think that I would be okay with not participating to this overall setup here that you see, just because I believe this is gonna, it's just manipulating right now in how I see it. But we'll see. We're having some type of rejection there. What's QS30 doing? Yeah. Oh, we got Jasmine in this freaking house. Okay. It's a good day. I already know it's gonna be a good day. Your sets are fire. I would have taken it, but following along with you and you didn't. LOL, it's okay. There's always more. Hey, Nary, just got here. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, dude. This, it worked out, right? It worked out. But I think I'd be so fake and false, and it's just not the integrity of a trader if you don't take a certain setup, but you're willing to call it out for other people. I think it's kind of like, why are you doing that? Why aren't you taking your own setups? So because I know people do attempt it, which is why I let everybody aware that there are people who trade shakeouts. It's just I'm not those people. I don't understand it. Or understand the context behind it. So let's see here. I mean, we're having this market reject off this mitigation overall setup in this zone here. But we'll see. US 30. Now with this US 30, a lot has changed now. And the way to say this, going based off of just simple market structure, right? You have your overall lower high, price train breaks this, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? So here, because we're at this lower high on a 1 minute time frame, if this breaks, what is potentially happening? A change of direction, which is why I'm being very, very cautious right now. Is this 30-second time frame now my ideal setup, my fan favorite? Not as much anymore, just because of we're really counter trending at this point. If this breaks here, and then now at this point it maintains above, we could be seeing this, right? So if it really came down to it, I think I would be mostly looking to this buying here, this buy setup. We see that it did touch this. Let's see this 30-second, 10-second time frame. What's going on here? 10-second time frame, very aggressive push. Now it's working its way up. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm okay. I mean, this could go its way, but I think I'm reading the charts. I'm reading the markets. I believe this is liquidity here. But who knows? This could just fly off and go from here, which is what we're starting to see. If we get this here, guys, I would be okay with, yes, you have that 1 to 3, but 1 to 3 would be roughly just going a fixed exit. TP2 would be really just riding this to the upside. All right. Yeah. Riding that to the upside. Market's holding that. Let me look at this. Let's look at US 30. Yeah, US 30 is actually floating this area here. Yeah, if this breaks above, like we're gonna be working our way up higher, which this can turn into a counter trend, and you're just gonna go for that 1 to 2. And that's just things that happen. Like you just gotta prepare when you get new information. Is your setup still ideal the same? I mean, we were looking at the 30-second time frame setup. So a lot can change on a 30-second time frame setup. Yeah, this is flying. Yeah, this is it right here. If this just pushes above here, I'm done. So this kind of came 26 pips. It would have been. But we'll see. Yeah, look at that. Interested. Look how they're working together. Not really. Not really much working together, but you have very divergence correlation going on. Very opposite. Funny how this whole thing works. 1 to 7 right there. Yeah, that's it. I think this is it. There's no re-entry for me at that point. This is it. It's just, market is just leaving us. I mean, if you got into this here, then I mean, you have a you have a good look of it, but this technically left me 23 pips away, so didn't really come into my zone. US 30 is just kind of taking its time there. Not really much. But the context behind this for today, I will say though, because I'm gonna put this in the journal real quick before so I don't forget. Here, give me a sec. Let me log into it. Where is it? What's today's date? Today's the 26th. Yeah. No, yeah, this is gonna be it. I'm not gonna take anything else. At least this right here, this is gonna start giving me more context. I'm gonna kind of be studying more about these shakeouts here. I do see that they do work, just not my cup of tea. Um, and then we just missed this overall, yeah, area. Cool. And then for this 30-second time frame, I think I'm good with it now. Yeah. Just because of two things, like if this genuinely does break, guys, I hear this and it maintains above, like we're gonna be going up and this is gonna get obliterated. This would have been ideal if we would have had this, right? Let me show you. This would have been ideal if this earlier, when we were looking at it, if it was doing this right here, then it would have shot lower. But now that we had it first shoot lower, and then on top of that, yeah, it's not the move for me. Shoosh, 134. Cool beans, cool beans. Well, guys, that's pretty much it for me today. Yeah, that's it. Look at that. TP's about to get hit. Wow. Let me just save this here. I'm going to save it for my notes. Yeah, TP's about to get hit. Nice. Well, regardless, trade day is done. I think it would have been banger. Woulda, shoulda, could've. We're good here. So besides that, guys, hopefully you did take some context out. Really more so today was making decisions, right? You got to make decisions. You got to stay firm with it. Because at the end of the day, you got to be cool with it. And I'm cool because based off of my evidence with my trading journals, I mean, we're doing pretty good for the year itself. So I'm not really tripping about a one-time setup. It would have been nice, right? You would have been looking like, hey, pretty good. But it's all good. Besides that, hopefully you have an amazing day so far. Let's run